Hi, in today's Affinity Publisher tutorial, I'm going to show you how I make calendars in Publisher, and I'm going to show you my little hack for creating them once and once ever and having an endless supply of calendars ever after. And just to make this fun, I'm just going to time this and see how quickly we can get an endless supply of calendars. So I've already made this one, and this one is a Sunday to Saturday calendar. So for this demo, I'm going to do a Monday start calendar, which some people prefer. So we'll go File and New. And I want this to be letter size. If you are in another area that uses A4, you could choose A4 instead. To switch this to landscape, there's little icons up here, so I've already got that selected, so you can switch between portrait and landscape here. And then for margins, I'm just going to do a half a margin all around, but I would like to have 1 inch margins along the top so that I have room to write the month. So I'm going to unlink these, and just in the top margin, I'm going to make that 1 inch. And now I'm ready to create. So now I have my new document, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pull out a table. So here's the table tool, and I'm just going to use my margin grids here and go from one corner to the other corner. Now up here, I'm going to click on these double arrows. There are 7 days of the week, so I'll change this number to 7. Oops, I have to push enter. And then down here, you can do 5 or 6 rows for the numbers of the month. Most months have between 4 to 5 weeks in them. It just really depends on the month. And also, I recommend just doing 5 because then you've covered most of your bases. There's going to be a couple instances where we're going to have to split some of the cells, which you see quite commonly on calendars that you buy. So I want to have 5 rows for the dates, but I also want a header across the top that shows the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I will do 6 rows total, and then I will grab this little dot here and hover until it turns to double-ended arrows and pull it back down. Row 1 is going to be my header, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to the line here in between until it turns double arrow, and I'm going to shrink that up to somewhere in the ballpark of 0.35 inches or so. And then I'm going to pull this back down. Now that slightly lengthened my header up here again, but I'm okay with the look of this. While this is still highlighted, and again, I just clicked here in the gray area to get the whole row highlighted, I'm going to change the justification. So up here, I'm going to click on this down arrow and center my text. And then right next to it, I'm going to click on that down arrow and center vertically. Now I can go in these cells, and the days of the week are going to be centered exactly in the middle. So like I said, I'm going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so now we've got the days of the week. One thing that I forgot is actually I do want to make these on master pages. So no worries. I'm going to go up here in my pages window. If you don't see that, go to Window, Pages, and I'm going to add a master page. So just clicking on this little icon here, and I'm going to call it Monday 31. And I suggest you use the same or similar naming as I'm going to be using in this tutorial, and you'll see why at the end. So Monday 31. And then I'm just going to go back to this page that we started. I'm on the Move tool, and I'm just going to highlight this whole thing. Sorry, click on this whole thing and select over all of it, copy, which is Command C or Control C if you're on a PC. And then I'm going to click on my master and Command V. Now it didn't hold the size, but that's okay. We'll just stretch it back out from corner to corner using our margin guides, and here we have it back. So we'll select it and delete it. All right, so now we're working on our master page. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add a header area for the months. So I'm going to use a text frame box for that, and that way I can go from left margin over to right margin. And again, I can center my text in both the horizontal and the vertical direction, just like we did here. And now, since we're already in summer of 2024, I'm going to make this a 16-month calendar. So from September through December of 2025. And this, you can change the text if you want. You can do that now, you can do that later. I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to make it bigger. Let's do 48-point font. Okay, so now I have that. Now we need some numbers. And so I'm going to go to Window and to the Paragraph tool, which you'll find under Text and Paragraph. And in Paragraph, there's all sorts of little sections here that you can expand and collapse with these little arrows. So I want the bullets and numbering. And I'm going to click on my table again, and I'm going to highlight the whole thing. And then over here in Type, I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice there's periods after these numbers, but here is kind of the code for what it is putting in those cells, and you can see the period in there. And so we can just go and delete that and then click away. And now, oops, why did it not take? Let's try that again. Highlight, period, and enter. And now they're gone. Okay, so now we have all of our numbers here. Now, this is going to be a Monday start with 31 days. So let me just pause here and explain what we're doing. If you have seen my mini calendar tutorial from a few years ago, this is the same technique. We are going to be creating a master for every day of the week. Basically, there's only 7 days of the week that can be the first of the month. So there's really only 7 different layouts that you need. We're going to make 14 because some months have 30 and some have 31, but you could conceivably just make 7 master pages, each having the first be on a different day of the week in week 1. And then all of them having 31. So you would just minus the days that you don't need the 31. So that's one thing you can do. And you can look for that on YouTube, the mini calendar tutorial that shows you with 7 layouts. Like I said, we're going to do 14 because this is something we can use year after year. And it's just going to be handy to have some of our months have 30 days and 31 already. So with that out of the way, let's go back to designing this. So now you'll notice my numbers are really close to the corners. That doesn't look very good. So I want to go up here to the table tool, which is this little icon here. You can also find that at Window and Table. And where did it go? It is somewhere around here. I think it's hiding under something. Here it is. I just closed it. Okay, so here's the table tool, and I want you to go to these cells. So you need to be selected on the table and make sure you're still on the table tool. And here where it says insets, I have this link on, so it looks like a little bracket with a chain in between. And I'm just going to click in any one of these cells, the arrow up. And so watch these numbers as I do that. Because they're linked, oops. So we need to have them all selected. Sorry, I forgot about that part. So we need to have them all selected, and then it'll move all of them out from this edge and this edge because I've got these boxes all linked. So it's changing the numbers in all 4 boxes. So I'm happy with where that is. That looks okay to me. And so we'll leave it there. Okay, so now once we have all of this, let's go to our masters. And we are going to duplicate this. So I'm going to select it so that it's outlined and go to the second icon that says Duplicate Selected Master. So now we have a second one, and I'm going to double click it until it looks like this, and then I can rename it. So I'm going to just put my cursor behind it, and I'm going to change it to Tuesday 31. And then I'm going to click that one and duplicate it. Come down here, double click, and that is Wednesday. And I'll speed up the video here, but I'm just going to continue doing that all the way through the 7 days of the week. So just duplicating them. All right, so now that I have all of the 31 days, months made, I'm going to just go through them and erase the numbers I don't need. So click in this cell and just backspace or delete until you have just 31. And then we'll go to Tuesday. And we will go here and we will delete the 1. And that is going to move everything over one cell. And actually, we need to put the 31 back here for the Tuesday layout. And so then we'll go to the Wednesday layout and we'll delete the numbers in the first 2 days, which moves the first over to Wednesday. And then I can get rid of the extra numbers at the end. So Thursday, get rid of those, and that moves the first to Thursday, and we just happen to end on 31, so that makes it convenient. And then Friday, there's our Friday start, and we need to add a 31 back in here. Now, I had a weird thing happen earlier, and I could see just the tiniest dot of a cursor there, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get a number in here. But for some reason in this process, it changed my font to 0.2. So if you change it back to 12, then you'll be able to put your 31 back in there. Okay, so Saturday, we need the first to be on a Saturday, so I'm going to delete them in each of the cells until Saturday is the first. And then same thing over here. We need to switch this back to 12 font, and we will worry about the 31 a little bit later. Okay, so then to the Sunday start. And then down to this last cell, make sure that it's the same font. And again, we'll add the 30 and 31 a little bit later. Okay, so now we have adjusted the numbers. Now we're going to duplicate each of these and make our 30-day version. So click on the first one, duplicate it. It will add a little 2 behind it, so you can just go here, put your cursor behind it, and just change it to 30. And then I'm going to double click on Tuesday the 31st, make sure that it's outlined, duplicate that, go to the duplicate one, click on it until you are able to edit the name, change it to Tuesday 30, go to the Wednesday, duplicate that. Okay, so now we have our 14 master pages, and we've got a master page for the first being on every single day of the week. and we've got master pages for a month that has 31 days and a month that has 30. Now, February, of course, marches to its own drummer, so we just will have to adjust February manually. And when I show you assembly of the calendar, we'll go through that. Okay, so now we're going to add in those kind of weird extra days where we need to have a split cell in there. Okay, so let's go back to the 31st. So this one is fine, starts on the Monday. This is a good time to proofread too. So it starts on a Monday and ends on a 31. So Monday 30, we need to go and delete the 31st. Tuesday starts on a Tuesday, ends on the 31st. So this next one, which is the Tuesday 30, starts on a Tuesday, and we're just going to delete the 31. Saturday start. Okay, so this is one where we need to add a 31. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we can get this really nice and precise. We'll scroll down to this lower corner, and we need to, I think, just need to add the 31st. So I'm going to go to the pen tool, and I'm going to go right to this corner and make sure you're on line mode up here, and then go to where this cell kind of intersects and click that. Now, if you look at your table tool, let's bring that up here, and we click on the table, you can see that the borders are 0.5 point as their stroke width. So I'm going to go back to this line. Where did it go? There we go. And I'm going to turn the stroke on to a solid line and then make it the same, 0.5. And now we have that. Now I find the easiest way to get the additional number is actually with the artistic text tool. And we'll make sure that it's 12 point. And then I need a 31. And then this part, I'm just going to eyeball positioning it so that it looks similar. And you can click away and use your arrows up and down keys to kind of nudge it in different directions. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe one to the left. Okay. Let's zoom back out again and go back to our Pages menu. And so that was our Saturday with 31 days. And while we're here, I am just going to copy this. So Command C or Control C. We'll go to our Saturday 30. That looks correct. Our Sunday 31. So we need to add a line here. So I'm going to just paste this now. And it pasted it in exactly the same spot on the page that I copied it from, which is really handy. And then I'm going to paste one more because we need to have another one for day 31. And I'm going to hold Shift while I drag that other one over. And that just keeps it kind of perfectly in line in this horizontal direction that I'm moving it. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. And we're going to go to the Sunday 30. And since we still have it on the clipboard, we'll just paste that extra line. All right, so now let's go back to the first one we did, which was our Saturday. And let's just grab now this number that we made with the artistic text tool and copy that. And now we can scroll back to these other pages and paste that. And again, because it's pasting it exactly where it copied it from in relation to this whole page. And I will paste a second one, hold Shift and drag that one over. And I think we'll just use the arrows to the right to just nudge it slightly over so that it looks about the same. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You'll see when I nudge it, little numbers pop up. So you can use those numbers if you want to be a little bit more precise. Okay, and then we just need to add one more here. While it's still on our clipboard, I can just paste, and it pasted it in exactly the right spot. Now this one here, I just need to make sure that I change that to a 30 because that is the 30th day. And this one here, I need to make sure that I change this one to 30. Okay, so now we have all of our layouts. This last step is optional. I am going to be turning these into fillable calendars. So I want to merge any leftover cells so that people can write notes in it. You could also, as you're making these, put decorations in those areas, but I like to merge these cells. So I'm just going to select them with my mouse and right click and merge cells. So I will just go through all of my layouts and merge all the extra cells. Now, obviously, if there's only one cell, there's nothing to merge there. Okay, now something we should have done a long time ago is save our work. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll call this landscape calendar. Monday to Sunday. Okay, so now we've got it saved. All right, so we are ready to assemble. Now I'm going to switch from master pages now to the pages section here. And I'm just going to put a little placeholder here and just call it title page. And that way, if I wanted to put a cover on this calendar, I could. I'm offering this as a printable, so there's really not a whole lot of need for a cover, but just as a page option, I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go to the add pages, and since I'm doing from September through the end of 2024 and then all of 2025, I'm going to do 16 additional pages. So add pages, I'm going to do 16 more, and that put all my pages in. So now I'm going to just squish up my publisher window here, hopefully. Kind of tricky with the screen recorder happening, but let's just bring this all over here. Actually, don't need that right now. So let's go and find a calendar. So what I need first is 2024. And I'm just going to pull up one that's fairly easy to read. Oops, not that one. So I want something that'll just enlarge, that's not shopping. Let's try that one. Okay, that looks good. And I'm just going to move my Google way over here. Okay, well, that's good enough. And then I can bring this up here. We can squish this up a little bit more if we need to. That just makes it so I'm not having to flip windows anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go to my first calendar page, which is page 2. And just on the thumbnail here, apply master. Now, September starts on a Sunday and has 30 days. So I'm going to look for Sunday 30 and say OK. And this is September 2024, so I don't have to do anything with that heading. Right click and apply master. And October starts on a Tuesday and has 31 days. So we'll look for Tuesday 31. So this is where that numbering comes in handy. Okay, so I want to double click this to make sure that that is what is on my screen right now. And then I can come up here and edit the month. So double click the thumbnail to switch to this one. Right click and apply master. November starts on a Friday and has 30 days. So we'll look for Friday 30. Okay. and then come up here and change the month. So I'm just going to continue with this same process. Now here I'm going to have to change this. In an ideal world, I probably would have made my master say 2025 because I'm going to have 12 of those to change, but that's okay. All right, so February starts on a Saturday and ends on the 28th. So Saturday 30 is our closest one. And okay. So we'll change that to February 2025. And so here I'm just going to delete the extra numbers. And then I can go ahead and I can't actually merge those cells, so that's a little unfortunate. So let's open up layers. I'm going to click on this master, which is the top layer that everything is nested under, and edit detached. And then I'm able to merge the cells, and then I can click on this green bar and finish. So if you're having trouble editing something from a master layout on an individual page, just go to it in the layers, right click, and do edit detached. All right, so now we got February all sorted. Right click on March, and I'm just going to continue doing this for the whole rest of the calendar. I'll speed up the video so that you don't have to watch me make all 12 months. Okay, so now's a good time to save again. Before you export this and sell it or whatever you're going to do with it, I would do one more proof read, especially against the dates, and also make sure that you didn't miss changing any headers. So make sure that each one has the correct number of days, 30 or 31, and that each month starts on the correct day of the week. All right, so I'm going to show you one more thing. So we've done a lot with masters here, and I have the entire Affinity suite. So if you have this, you can do this too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my last master. It doesn't really matter which one, but I'm just going to take the last one. I'm going to duplicate one more copy of it, and I'm going to double click on it so that that's what I am editing. Let's move this aside a little bit more. Actually, we can expand this back out now that we're done with the calendar. And we'll just center this a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go to Designer, and you can make a design layout master. So I'm just going to show you one real quick thing that you can do, but if you have any sort of things that you want to put around the perimeter to decorate it, any sort of clip art, whatever you want, you can do that on a master. So I'm going to switch to Designer so I have access to the brushes, and I'm going to go to the Vector Brush tool, and I'm just in the watercolors right now. I'll just select one of those, and I will select a nice color, maybe something like that. And then with the brush tool, I'm going to make the size of the brush just a little bit bigger, maybe not quite that big. Something like that. And now I'm just going to put like kind of a watercolor little smear over top of September. And then I am going to, that's really all I'm going to do. Now, if you didn't like the way that brush worked, what you can do is you can go to this node tool, and then you can kind of make some adjustments to kind of get your little stripe looking the way you want it to. So I'm just going to delete that. So any kind of decoration you want to do. So you could also do, we could do like these we can make the brush a little smaller here. And we could do these across all of these days. And again, if you didn't like how some of them went, you could just kind of adjust them with the handles a little, because these are all vectors. So I'm not going to play with it too much. This can definitely be brought down a little. And yeah, let's just go with that. So now let's go back to Publisher. And I'm going to select the table on this master and just delete it. So just select the whole thing and delete it. And if that's not working for you, you can also go to the layers, and we'll just find the table, and we'll delete the number, delete that, and delete the table, so that all we have left is our decorations on this master. So now you can go back through your pages, and you can right-click and apply master, and let's actually give this the name design. Okay, so now I can right-click and apply master, and I can choose design, and I'm going to do this on all pages. It's going to affect my title page too, but we'll deal with that later. And I'm going to unclick replace existing, because I want to layer this master on top of the other masters that I've already assigned. And now as we scroll through the calendar, they all have it. Now, you'll notice that it's kind of overlaying my text. So the last thing we need to do is just clean that up a little bit. And so what we'll just want to do is click on each of these and just drag design below the other master spread. So Monday 31, we want to put the design master underneath it. So we'll just kind of go through and just in each of the layers, drag it down. But, the thing is, once these calendars are made, like I said, you can use these masters to make calendars for every other year that comes after it, because you have all the masters made of all the possible combinations, with the exception of, February, which again is its own thing. But you have masters to make any calendar you want, and you never have to do this again. So I am at 43 minutes on my screen recorder, just about 44, and we have a completed calendar ready to export with a simple decoration already. And we can go back to this one actually and just clear that one. And now we're back to just having our title page that we can do whatever. All right, so to recap, this is what we did. We created a master calendar with 31 days. We used bullets and numbering to number it super quick. And we put a placeholder header up here that we could edit. And then we duplicated all of our 31-day masters, adjusted the dates so that each one of them started on a different day of the week. And then we duplicated that and created another set of 7 that had only 30 days. And so we were able to adjust the numbering by just deleting them in the table. Optionally, you can merge cells for any extra boxes that are blank, and that gives people a place to write in some notes, or you could use that as additional decorating space. People could put stickers in it. And then we created a design master, and you can put anything you want on there. We did that by duplicating one of our masters so that we knew where the calendar was in relation to these design elements. And once we had the design elements, we just deleted the calendar. And then we were able to apply the design master on top of the master that we've already put in these pages, so that we basically have two masters on this page. And we did that by going to the page and making sure that replace existing was unchecked, so that it layers two masters together rather than replacing it with the new master. All right, so this is ready to export. And again, in about 45 minutes, you can have this set up and you will never have to make another calendar layout again. You can just make copies of this file. So just File, Save As, give it a new name. And then if you want to make edits to fonts or anything like that, colors, you can preserve this kind of as a master, and then make all your changes on copies of this master. And again, you never have to do it again. All right, so I hope that that's really helpful for you, and thank you so much for watching.